Do you know someone taking a statin? Of course you do. So do I. Not just clients, but family members. And even one of my kids now has high cholesterol. So I'm going to share some of the updates in the research on what we can be eating more of to actually reduce our risk of heart disease and lowering cholesterol. You're going to love the new information. Welcome to Sarah RD TV. So the cool thing about nutrition science is that it's always evolving. We didn't even know about vitamins until the 20th century. So if you're thinking, well, Sarah, you tell me to eat eggs and not eat eggs, and now we're going to be talking about different foods, really pay attention to the exciting research with what I'm about to tell you. First of all, personally, I've had my cholesterol levels checked this last year, and I'm embarrassed to say that it had been about 3 years. I always see an annual female doctor once a year, but I hadn't had my complete lipid profile done in about 3 years. I'm happy to report that it was pretty much better than what I thought. My LDLs were really low, my HDLs were really high, and my triglycerides were normal. Also this last year, one of my kids has hypercholesterolemia. And it doesn't have anything to do with weight. So what I'm talking about today has nothing to do with weight loss or weight gain. It's about our heart health and our brain health. So personally, I'm more motivated to make changes in my family's eating habits, and I want you to pay attention to see if maybe there's something that you can tweak so that you don't have to rely on a statin, which is the #1 cholesterol-lowering drug in the United States. So this is partially sponsored by KnowYourO.com, and what that means is that if you know your lipid profile and then taking it a step further and understanding what your omega-3 level is, wow, is that eye-opening. So I also had this done, completely separate test from my annual, now it's an annual lipid profile. And so you think, well, okay, I eat olive oil and I eat salmon. Well, here's the thing. Americans, we eat so many PUFAs, right? Polyunsaturated fats, the omega-6s, and that's where you find in your packaged foods, your crackers, your cakes, all those types of foods. We get a lot of those. And so they can take up a lot of space in our blood cells. And so even if we're eating a lot of omega-3s, it might not be enough. We have to cut back on the omega-6s. So I just have a few examples. Some people say, well, Sarah, I don't like salmon, but I'm going to show you right over here is something that we want to try to get at least 2 sources a week. And you know that I work with pregnant women, and so my pregnant lady audience, please know that the mercury is pretty low in salmon. And if you're still afraid of eating fish for any reasons, if you choose sardines, which are the tiny little suckers, if you mash those up and put those in spaghetti sauce with a lot of garlic, it's going to taste pretty good. So we want to try to get a few sources a week. Fortunately, in my family, we do love salmon. Avocados, omega-3 eggs. Now, these are my own chicken eggs, but you can buy those as well. And also choosing some of the plant sterile margarines or butters, then those will also help to naturally improve your omega-3s. Like this product does have omega-3s added to it, but you're saying, well, Sarah, I don't want to eat margarine because I thought butter was so great. So here's the other update. Drum roll. The saturated fat, because we know that saturated fat can be linked to heart disease, right? However, when it is in a protein food like in cheese, it actually is not so bad on our heart as if it were in pure form of saturated fat. So haters gonna hate that I say still leave your butter in small amounts, added maybe at the end of cooking, but if you include normal portions, so I'm not saying eat a whole block of cheese with a whole sleeve of crackers, because remember those crackers are high in the omega-6s. If we match an ounce or 2 of full-fat cheese with a vegetable and a fruit, then we're getting the extra serving of fruit and vegetables that we need a day, which we already know that we're not getting enough of. So this is good news to me because, first of all, disclosure, I love cheese. My family loves cheese. My kids love cheese. But if we're just eating it with crackers or as a sauce, maybe that's not the best option. So encourage your kids, encourage your family to maybe have cheese with more of a fruit or vegetable. So now melting cheese on broccoli, thumbs up for sure. Okay, now what if you really want to really improve your brain and your heart health and look at supplements, which, you know, maybe 10 years ago, actually almost 15 years ago, 14 years ago, when I was planning a family, And back then, DHA and EPA, which are omega-3s, right? We were just starting to know about them. And so in pregnancy, we were thinking, well, even my mom, wow, Sarah, why are you taking like this voodoo medicine? And now you're kind of a jerk if you don't take DHA during pregnancy. So we already know that DHA and EPA, which are the omega-3s, definitely help with brain development, but also are important for kids. And it's also linked to Alzheimer's and dementia. Super exciting research. And so now if you're looking at supplements, and I get overwhelmed looking in the store, and I know you all do too, because there's so many different products, and there's not one right or wrong one, but just look, when you're looking at the supplement, you do want to get a pretty good equal amount of the DHA to EPA. And if you're thinking, well, Sarah, I don't like fish burps. Girl, I'm totally with you. I don't either. And so try different products if you want. Here's the amount that we want to consider. About 1,200 milligrams for kids and conservative adults. If you're thinking, well, I don't want to overdo it, 1,200 milligrams is about right. So you're going to see ranges all over the place, but that's going to be about the average appropriate conservative, which means conservative means not too much. Okay, and there's gummies. So this one is for children, and it is in a multi, and it also has omega-3s. And for 2 gummies, it only has 100 milligrams. So again, super, super low amount. But again, if you're matching this with omega-3s in other foods, then I think you're going to be doing pretty well. So I'd love to hear your comments, and if you're going to be changing some of your eating habits because of this information. It's really, really difficult to purposely think, okay, I'm going to add more omega-3s and cut back on the omega-6s, which is a lot of the packaged foods. But once you start doing it, it is so important to cherish eating well, because we all want to do the best that we can while we are living our long lives. Thank you for watching. What foods that we can choose? Okay, starting over. Okay, with what foods? I'm going to do it one more time.